Hey, Esther, welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. How are you doing today, friend?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing so good, and I'm so excited to find out if I am like you today. I'm so curious.
Oh man, it's an odd world on my side, so you may or may not want to be like me. We'll figure that out in the end. Don't
Well,
worry
I'm
about it.
pretty odd myself. I've got all the weirdness, so let's just, you're on.
All right, deal. So on this podcast, it's called Maybe You're Like Me, and the whole thought is we've got people listening from honestly all over the world that they've got hopes and dreams and fears and anxieties, and in those hopes and dreams and all those things, you can feel a little alone. And so we're
hmm
talking to people like you who are doing really cool stuff and seeing if maybe if we're a little alike. And so for people that may not have met you yet or seen your books or any of the stuff that you're doing, who are you? Who is Esther Marie? I know that's like a big, like huge, mind-boggling question, but just give us the nuts and bolts. Who is Esther?
Sure, absolutely. So, my name is Esther Marie. I live in Southern California. I'm an author, speaker, entrepreneur, and a massive coffee snob, like to the degree of just like, I shouldn't be allowed in some coffee shops, honestly. I might offend a couple people. I hate myself for it, honestly, but it's how God made me. So I'm learning to accept myself day by day.
All right, so
And
time out real quick. What is your
yeah,
what is your drink? Like your be all end all?
okay.
What's your coffee drink? Give me the
All
details.
right. So I'm just like your basic cappuccino girl. I just love just a straight up coffee, but I will say every now and then I do like a twist of like a bitter dark chocolate taste to it. So if I'm
Ooh,
gonna go mocha vibes, I'm gonna do like a really strong bitter chocolate and then some cinnamon on top. Cinnamon is
okay.
really, it's like the cherry on top. Yeah, it's so good. So
Uh,
that is my coffee snob. It's scary out there.
yeah, that's a fantastic drink. I'm sorry, I cut you off. So
Yeah.
you are author, entrepreneur,
Yep.
ninja, coffee connoisseur. What
Ninja.
what else do
Yep.
people want to know about you?
Yeah, so I have a personal brand where I help singles learn to love the life in front of them. My last book, I've written 5 books, and my last book was a memoir actually on the last 8 years of my life, journaling my season of singleness. So I actually published my diary, Mike. Now, if that's not weird, I don't know what is. And if that's not vulnerable and scary, and if anyone can relate to writing crazy things in their diary and wanting no one to read it and then decide to share it with the world, I mean, what left do I have to be afraid of at this point in my life? So put it all out there. And now I coach single professional women. I help navigate them along their journey of singleness to learn to live the adventure. I'm not trying to help people get married or do the dating thing necessarily, but I'm really trying to help them understand their purpose and learn to find contentment in their season.
That's fantastic. I love that. And yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about the things you've written and kind of what you're all about in a minute. But it's just so cool to think about that, like wherever you're at right now isn't the end of things. It's honestly the
Right.
middle. And so there's so much cool and journey and life out there. So that's awesome.
Yes,
And again, I'm going to say this probably 800 times. Thank you so much for being here. This is a blast.
for sure. Absolutely. I'm having a good time.
All right. So, okay, now we're talking about these things because, like, we'll see people on Instagram or on TV or on
Mhm.
TikTok or wherever, and people like it's a natural tendency to want to make your life look like you've got it all together. And so, if we're
Totally.
like you put on like this version of yourself that maybe people like it's unattainable almost. And so, if there's people out there that are following you on Instagram, like let's talk like if we're gonna get past that stuff, let's start with that stuff. Who is the Esther we're going to see, let's say on Instagram?
On Instagram, well, I'd say, I really do view Instagram so much as a business slash philanthropic opportunity, ministry, area to share my faith, area to make fun of myself and just share some laughs with people. I don't take it too seriously. I'm trying to create positivity and impact. So the Esther that you're going to meet there is really just maybe more of the depths of my heart in the sense of I'm wanting to share something that's more than just surface level value. I'm not going to share a lot of surface level things on Instagram unless it's really funny and sarcastic. So I'm here for the memes and all of that. And then I do share bits and pieces of my life, my relationship that's newer. And I do try to also be transparent in the content that I share by talking about what you just shared that, hey, we are all imperfect human beings, and literally no one's life or relationship is perfect. So I pray, hope to give anyone, like, I hope no one compares their life to mine in the sense of thinking that my life is better than theirs. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
do my best to try to even encapsulate that in what I share and saying like, hey, like, I'm just like you.
that's awesome. Yeah, and we're gonna get into so much of this stuff. But yeah, it's cool that I like meeting people as like in the podcast and seeing the real person behind people that I've idolized for years, or like I've seen
Yeah.
people do like big talks, and I'm like, these people, they don't eat. They're
They
somehow
don't
like
poop.
fueled by
They
the
don't
yeah.
have boogers or things in their teeth. They're just superheroes.
Yeah, and it's cool to meet people and just get a little bit behind some of that stuff. And we don't have to talk
Yeah,
about pooping or boogers if you don't want to. That's not on.
I'm
I don't
open
know
to
if the.
it.
All right, well that door has been opened. So actually, let's take a quick switch over to IBS. How are you feeling about Imodium AD? And today's podcast is actually sponsored by Pepto Bismol. Thank you for bringing that up. That's fantastic.
Oh, you know what? Side note, actually, I will just give your listeners a side bit tip. This will change your life. DGL. I don't know if you've ever heard of DGL. It is licorice root. It's all natural. If you got, something going on down there, you just take one of those tablets. If you don't like the taste of licorice, you will hate it, but it'll clean you right up.
There's a dumb meme I've seen going around recently. It's like all hot girls have IBS, and if that's
Oh
true,
yeah.
I am the hottest girl in the entire world. No one
That's
actually. Let's go
awesome.
ahead and end this podcast forever. Nobody
Nice knowing
wants.
you. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mike. Thanks for
it's been a
bringing
great.
the IBS hotness to the world.
All right, so let's talk about your most recent book. Also, congratulations on writing and releasing 5 books. That's
Thank you.
beyond me. That's incredible. But let's talk about Single Shouldn't Suck, and like give me the heart and what started that whole journey for you.
Sure. Well, I'd say the moment happened for me where I had a wake up call in my early 20s and realized that all the books and all the messages and everything that I was receiving as advice for singleness and dating and that longing of your heart and singleness all revolved around the search for someone and the search for
Yeah.
a spouse and or trying to prepare me to become the one and focus on how can I be the best wife for my future husband and write him letters every night and pray for him and fast for him. And I just felt like no one was affirming my season of singleness and telling me that I was right where I was supposed to be, and that God was not withholding something from me until I was good enough or content enough in my relationship with Him. And that actually, like, I was right on track, and that there's so much life to live, and there's so much to discover about myself. So realize, all right, I'm going to write a book. I need to write a book that I wish someone had written for me. And I'm just going to journal and share my adventures and share the struggles and share my moments and my heartbreaks and all the things and the ins and outs and figuring it out and self-discovery and making peace with the mystery of it all. And so I really went on my own journey of what does that look like to just lean into the season of singleness and really live the full adventure of it, but also wrestle with God on what is this longing for marriage and relationship and love, what does that mean? And so there's just lots of like deep grappling faith, not deconstruction, but really like searching for more in life. And so really that book is it's a journey that you will go on.
That's fantastic. Now, I the thing that I like too is like there's people that they feel like you felt, and
Yeah.
they feel like they're stuck in like this limbo of singleness when that's
Mhm.
not it. But the thing that I enjoy is that you took that next step, and instead of just stopping at man, this sucks. Not only did you start journaling it, but you put it together in a helpful way for other people who are in a situation that you've been in, and that you're helping them. And at this point, like thousands of people have connected with what you've done. So on behalf of single people all over the United States and everywhere, like thanks for being brave enough to put that stuff out there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that just we need more people showing up with the struggle and talking about the longing, not like it's a bad thing or not like it in some way makes you subhuman or like less of even like having faith in God or, trust in yourself, that it's such a normalcy in the journey to have a longing and then also learn to love your life at the same time. So I hope anyone who reads the book and does resonate with it also has the courage to begin to share more of their journey and really embrace it.
Yeah, this is the first time we've met, so you don't know my full story. I think I felt the way that you felt up and in through my late 20s. I didn't meet the lady who had become my wife until I was 26, 27. And like, I genuinely, like, if you would have asked middle school, high school me, I would have gotten married the day after I graduated high school. It was like a Corey and Topanga thing in my brain. That's what my life was going to be. And then I decided, or like, it just, none of that kept working out. None of that kept working out. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Who is like, why is this not happening for me? And so I feel exactly, I don't know if I feel exactly how you feel and felt, but I understand that like you just feel like you've been left behind or you're lonely, and all the messaging that we see is that you should be married. You should have the 2.5 kids. I don't know where the half kid comes from. Maybe it's a dog.
It's probably a dog. Yeah. Hopefully it's a dog or a hamster.
That'd be like 2.1 kids. But you should have all these things ironed out. And things that I'm hearing more and more from people like you is that you're not left behind, that everybody's got their own thing, and to enjoy the life that you've got in front of you. And so that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So on the podcast, we do things in a couple of different rounds of questions. And the first round, actually, it's called the first date round. And I've been on a few first dates. You've probably been on a few first dates. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
if you're not watching on YouTube, her face just got real big, real
Some
wide-eyed.
scary first dates, man. Scary.
You want to
They
play
felt
that
like
game?
podcast interviews. Absolutely. I
Oh,
have
no.
a YouTube video that's called My Worst First Date. You guys should go watch it. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh man, we'll put that in the show notes. Definitely check out My Worst First Date. Give us the cliff notes. What's the worst first date? Like, bait us.
Gosh, absolutely worst first date of my entire life was this man who I had briefly met and ran into at church asked me out. And as we had coffee for the very first time, very first conversation we ever had, he began to proceed and tell me how he had been fasting and praying about our date and how he thought that I was the one for him, and then began to quote Bishop T.D. Jakes and Bible scripture to back his belief system. It was just, and it just snowballed from there, Mike. It honestly just kept getting worse and worse. And he named a boat after me. He invited me to come live with him in Virginia. And then he told me he loved me at the end of it. And so recovering.
So was that too much or too little? I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
Right. With the good question. I'd say it's a tad much. I thought I was going to be humanly trafficked at the end of that moment. So yeah.
All right. So for anyone listening out there single, maybe naming a boat after somebody and pulling astrological signs out of, I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, maybe not the best bet on the first date. But okay, so when you're on a first date, the whole goal is to get to know somebody a little bit better. You can ask questions like, are you a cat or a dog person? And like, you can find out if they like cats or dogs. But then you want to ask some questions that you get to know somebody a little bit better. And so the first date questions are like, there's kind of icebreaker, get to know you questions, but are you ready for these?
Let's go.
All right. So question 1, are you a thrill seeking person?
Oh yeah. I'm an Enneagram 7, man. I'm trying to swing from as high, like just wild experience from another wild experience, adventure to adventure, and the in between, it's real depressing.
All right. So what are some of your favorite like thrill adventures that you've done so far?
Okay, well, I've done some crazy things. I'm not a big like heights girl, so I know lots of people are like, I've gone skydiving. I will go skydiving because I will overcome that. But I love like excitement, fast stuff, and so I love surfing. I've almost died multiple times surfing waves that I should never ever try to surf. I'm not a big wave surfer. I don't know why. I was on the peak of a 10-foot wave in Mexico, literally almost dying. So surfing though, it's my biggest thrill. I love doing that. I've ridden elephants. I have, let's see, what else have I done that's thrilling? It's like in this moment we were like, is my life cool or is it just, I just thought it was cool? You know?
You sound amazing. Me and water don't mix. And so a long time ago, I tried to learn how to surf and I did some extensive boogie boarding. I think that's what it amounted to at the end of trying to learn to surf. It just wasn't for me. All right.
Love it.
But all
So
that stuff
good.
sounds amazing. A 10-foot wave
Totally.
sounds scary and fantastic. Elephants are
Terrifying.
awesome. All right. So like on the
Yep.
thrill side of life, is there anything you won't do?
Um, I have a hard time eating really gross things. So like I thought, can I go on Fear Factor? I would love to think that I could go on Fear. I love facing fears, but the hard part for me is if you put like something really nasty in front of me to eat, I'll eat something spicy, absolutely. But something really gross, disgusting, and be like, $1 million. If you eat this, I would gag. I'm really bad at that. So probably not that. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, we had a guy named Zach Windahl on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
and
I know Zach.
he's a great guy.
Bible study guy.
Yeah. And he was talking about how he used to work at this restaurant. They had this like weird fermented Swedish fish thing, whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. It sounded horrible.
Yeah, it
I'm a
sounds
picky
gross.
eater. That's not for
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
gross. So yeah, so that's your tap out. All right. So just for fun, would you go bungee jumping?
No, but I would go skydiving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been skydiving and I
Okay.
lived. It's great. You'll have a great time.
Yes. Yeah. I think I would have fun. I tried to go a couple of months ago and the Groupon didn't go through and I was like, that's probably a sign from God. It's just maybe the discounted rate is not the way to go. But
there's a few things in life that you really don't want to Groupon on.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
for
skydiving might
sure.
be one of them.
Yeah.
Even though when I went skydiving, I think it was on a Groupon. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they only packed one parachute instead of having the safety one too. So, but you got to get your discount where you can get your discounts.
Exactly. Got to get
All right.
it.
All right. So if here's another question for you, first day round. If you could switch places with one person for 24 hours, it could be a celebrity, it could be a politician, it could be just some guy who has a cool skill that you don't have, or a lady of skills you don't have. Who would you trade places with? And we're talking Freaky
Man.
Friday styles. You could
That's
be
hard.
Lindsay Lohan or
Oh.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I don't want to be her. All right. I'm bad at celebrities and knowing people's names and about their lives a lot. So,
Sure.
but I will say, it's hard. That's a hard one, man. Like, do I go really cool lifestyle or just someone that I just think is funny and cool? But I think Kristen Wiig is hilarious.
Oh,
and
genius.
so yeah, so I'm just like, I think it'd be really fun to like live her life for a day if she is in a movie or something like that, and just the way that she shows up in her characters, I just think is really funny, and I would love to do that. So as a lame answer though, I don't know.
That's not lame at all.
That feels a little lame. I don't know.
I'm
Well,
trying
who
to
would
think
you
of.
choose?
Okay, so I sometimes ask these questions and I've got like a definitive answer. Like on that last one,
Okay.
I don't want to go like on the things you won't do. I won't go diving with sharks. Like
Oh,
again,
okay.
me and water. That's not for me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they have their space. I have mine. I don't want to dive with sharks. But on this one,
Mhm.
like this one's like there's a million different people that sound really cool. Like there's people like Bono, the guy who's the lead singer of U2.
True. Yep.
Just like it would be so cool to hang out, or like maybe not even him, like the guy who gets to hang out with Bono all day and like carries around his phone for him. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Less pressure.
Yeah. And then like there's guys that are like super genius comedians. Like I'd love to be in like Steve Martin or Martin Short's brain for a day, or Kristen Wiig sounds great too. She's hilarious.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's just people that are so smart. And I'm like, how did you think of that? How does your brain work? And so I think you
Yep,
chose
I
well with
agree.
Kristen Wiig. That's
All
fantastic.
right. Okay, we'll go with it. I'm confident.
Or if you want, we can change yours to some amazing scientist. You could be, and I'm going to give you Living
Yeah.
or Dead. You want to be Einstein for a minute?
No. I don't want inside that brain. I don't even want to know what goes on in there. Nope. Not too smart. I can't do too smart.
Okay, deal. That's fantastic. All right, so that's the first date round. Based on that, pretend there was some chips at the table. Are you feeling okay about that first day? Is that okay?
Feeling great. I feel like it was a success. Yep.
All right, now we're cooking. All right, so the next round, I call it the slow round, and these are questions that are a little less like head knowledge, like do you want to go skydiving, and a little more like a couple layers down, so that maybe the people that are listening can get to know you a little bit better. And so because we
Sure.
see the books that you've put out and the things that you're putting out into the world, but maybe we can get to know you just a little better. So,
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
go.
All right. So, what are some fears, like a fear or some fears that you're currently dealing with that maybe it's not something you just put out into the world all the time, but like I feel like we see people and like we think that they've got the complete package, they've got it all together
Hmm.
when we don't see
Hmm.
the real person behind there. And
Right.
uh, is there any fear that you're dealing with right now that you don't mind sharing with hundreds of
Oh
millions of
yeah.
people?
1,000%. So many. So fun fact about me is I used to be known as people used to call me Fearless Girl because I had a business and a community in Huntington Beach called Fearless Girl, and it was a surf community, and I wrote a book called Fearless Girl. So I'm all about talking about fear, and because I have lots of them, and I believe that we should face them because on the other side of it is achieving our greatest dreams. And I would say right now in this season, a fear that I've really been facing actually is fear of the future.
Oh,
And as an Enneagram 7, I have a impulsive nature to just instantly look for an escape in a moment of things not going the way that I anticipated. And so, whether it be in my relationship or my business or my personal life, when there is high anxiety, I tend to project my fearful outcome onto the future. And just like, honestly, you could not tell me that was not going to happen in that moment. I believe that, like fantasy, I will contrive the greatest terrorizing future for myself, project it into the future and be like, wow, my life's about to implode. I'm going to get out of here. See you guys. Throwing my phone into the ocean. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. I'm disowning my whole family. I'm never speaking to anyone that's ever known me. I'm changing my name. I'm probably going to the Witness Protection Agency. Like everything they can imagine, I will believe it. And in that moment, I'm like about to book a flight to Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is a fear that I've been really trying to embrace and like lean into. And I think part of it is a fear of fully being known,
huh.
right? It's because like this true vulnerability of being loved. And I've always known love to be this very conditional thing. And
Uh,
I've always known love to be, I bring my perfect self and I bring my perfect like hopes and dreams to this situation. And then you meet me there with the same perfection. And then when it's not like that, because that's just so not love, I freak out and I think something's wrong and something's wrong with me, something's wrong with the situation. So yeah, I'm learning now what real unconditional love is and how to be imperfect in my relationship and in my life and let God love me in that place. And that's been really freeing, but also terrifying at the same time.
yeah, the fear of the future and the fear of the unknown and all that stuff. I almost want to ask you, how many times has it actually turned out like you thought it was going to turn out? And I'd imagine the answer is pretty low, uh,
Yeah,
because uh, we
probably.
can we can imagine it a million different ways on how everything's going to implode
Yeah.
when and whether it be a business deal or a relationship. But at the end of the day, uh, all those fears are a lot of times stopping us from doing the things that we're supposed to do and living the lives that we're supposed to live. And uh, it's cool that number one, that's Fearless Girl sounds like such a cool business name, and you sound awesome. But
Thank you.
the uh, the fact that you've taken the time to recognize that in yourself and um, to let the people that are closest to you in and to like step beyond that fear, it's probably helped you in so many ways. And so I'm excited for your future, even just as a new friend, just seeing like what this amazing life you're going to lead is going to be. And actually you
Thank
kind of
you.
touched on that, the next thing I wanted to ask you about, which is this, like uh, you're living this amazing life and you're pursuing all these amazing things and you're entrepreneuring. I really need to make that a word. I don't think it is, but you're doing all these things
Yep.
and your life is busy, your life is hectic. And how has community affected your life?
That's a great question because I think community can look so different for so many people. And I do hear actually from a lot of, especially women who are still single and they struggle with feeling like they have community. And so I just think that it could be an online community. It could be even just one or two friends that still are a community that we need in our life to make us to help us not be so on guard and have all these walls up. So how community has served me in this season, especially with what I'm going through, I'm in transition with my community.
Hmm,
So I live in Orange County, but my boyfriend lives in San Diego County, and I just transitioned to his church there.
hmm.
So a lot of my friend groups and everything, and even just the season of life that I'm in beyond that, it's just God is just really navigating a new path for me. And so it's been harder for me to like let go of this type of community, or I just naturally feel detached from it or less resonating with it or less in common with it, and looking for more of a community that's, near to my age group or people that are interested in the same things that I'm interested in as we evolve. We're searching for that. So I think in the most recent months, my community's been a lot smaller. And honestly, it's been just like three of my best friends that I feel like I can go to. And they honestly talk me off the edge. Every time I go to buy a flight to Hawaii, they're like, Esther, no, like, you're good. Like, we love you and you're going to get through this. And yeah, community in that regard just kind of becomes your family when you really feel like, so alone and isolated, and you feel like crazy for
Hmm.
feeling what you feel, and your community, it fits healthy. They really can help redefine what it means to go, whatever you're feeling, help you just put all those pieces back together.
Yeah, having a group of people that have your best interest in heart
Yeah.
can really change everything. It's happened
Hmm.
countless times in my life, probably countless times in your life. And having the right people to be able to turn to and give you some perspective that maybe you didn't have before. Uh, that maybe Hawaii, while it sounds great, is full of radiation from this. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up a reason why maybe Hawaii isn't the best reason. Actually, a long time ago, like I had a similar situation where I was just going through a bunch of transition and feeling
Yeah.
crazy on edge. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move. I was in my early 20s, and that's just like that's a big transition time for a lot of people. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna move, and everything's gonna be better in wherever it was, Timbuktu. And I had a friend that was like, "Well, what's going to be different about you in Timbuktu?" And I was like, "No, nothing is going to be different about me in Timbuktu. Timbuktu is the answer." And
Yeah.
just the perspective of it's not the place that's going to change things. It's you that needs to like solidify yourself.
Right.
Then having that perspective from another friend and that community really like opened my eyes and changed things. And so, like you were saying, that if you have those people that love you enough to tell you the truth, maybe even sometimes when you don't want to hear it and you really want to go to Timbuktu or Hawaii, those people can really just change everything for you. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And sometimes you just need someone to make you laugh, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Sometimes a dog can be your community, and like the love of God, the unconditional love of God, I believe resides in little doggies that just love you. And that's okay too. That's sometimes exactly what I need.
You know what? You're right. And honestly, I don't know. This isn't the same thing, but watching like America's Funniest Home Videos and
Yes.
or just like cute cat videos online, sometimes that's what you need to. So,
Yep. True.
all
True.
right. There's one question we like to ask everybody on the podcast, and it can be the biggest thing in the world. It could be something small, but what's something you're learning right now?
Hmm. Well, I am kind of on that same wavelength of facing that fear of the unknown and fear of being loved and all of that. I have been breaking down the walls of offense in my life, and I've been doing a study on how to overcome offense and how to discern it in myself and how to know when you're offended and how to, yeah, really be unoffendable to a degree,
Hmm.
or just leave offense there. So I think that that's been something that's just really rocked my world. I started at the beginning of the year. It was one of my yearly goals to really tackle that. And because I want to be better at relationship and I want to be better at loving beyond myself and recognizing the pride, because pride is just like such a hidden disease inside of us, and offense is often is the resentment that's built up because of our pride. And so I think that it's just kind of really opened my eyes on how much I didn't realize I'm so offendable. Oh my God, I'm like disgusted. And so I think that learning that offense, often we don't realize that how it plays into our thought processes, and then the strongholds that are in our brain, actually the way that we're wiring our brains to react constantly because of offense, we actually can break that mindset. We can break that reactionary almost like pathway in our brain and rewire our brains to when that same situation comes up, we no longer have that fight or flight kind of anxiety driven reaction if we learn how to recognize the offense and not take offense to it. So that's been really powerful, just relationally. I don't know if you were asking something cooler than that, but that's what I honestly just feel like my mind is blown learning about offense.
No, that's awesome. Sometimes it's people saying like, I learned how to karate chop something, or but sometimes it's big stuff like that. And if you figure it out, please like share it with us, let us know. And you actually have a lot of opportunity for offense driving in California. Traffic can be pretty bad over there. So
I'm from Miami. Driving out here is like going through, a nature center, honestly. I'm from like the most outrageous driving city in the country. And so I'm good. I haven't been offended driving. I've probably offended people though. That's probably a thing.
I'm going to be honest. So like you next leveled it. Miami driving is no joke. I'm in Central Florida here. I've driven through Miami.
Okay.
And it's like, if you're asking me for times I felt the closest to God, it was probably when I was driving in Miami, because I was moments
probably
away from...
cut you off. That was me. Yeah.
That was very unkind of you. And in that moment, I could have learned how to be unoffended, and it didn't work that day.
Yeah.
We'll get them next time.
Next time.
All right. So we are in the final round here of questions. This is the common ground round. That's what I call it. And it's where we see if maybe you and I are like, did you grab some paper and a pen there? She is prepared. Look at her. She's ready to go.
Got it.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a couple of this or that style questions, and you can tell me, and we'll reveal them at the same time, and we'll see if maybe you and I are alike. You ready for this?
Ready.
All right. On a first date, would you rather have Italian food or Mexican food? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put Mexican. She put...
I put Italian.
Italian. Oh, no. What are you doing?
I'm Italian. I go to eat Italian for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day, every day.
All right. What is your go-to Italian dish if you go to an Italian restaurant?
Ooh, if I go to an Italian restaurant, probably chicken parmesan or baked ziti. All of it, honestly. It's hard for me to choose just one. I need like 3 options.
All right. So next question. Can you cook Italian food?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I just made a huge batch of sauce and meatballs, just a couple days. We have our own family recipe. Oh, yeah. All day, every day. I prefer to cook rather than go to a restaurant because I'm snobby when it comes to some of these things. And I just don't like that about myself. So yeah.
I am well fed right now. Like I just had lunch a few minutes ago, and I am currently like salivating just thinking about Italian and Mexican food. This is my fault. I shouldn't have asked that question.
You really shouldn't have. It's your fault.
That's on me. Man, that sounds amazing. But okay. So in the same breath, do you enjoy Mexican food as well?
Love it. Absolutely.
What's your go-to
it's really
there?
a toss-up. I'm a taco girl. I am I'm going to go al pastor. I'm going to go carne asada. It's like one of the two. Obviously, living in Southern California, we have the best of the best, So
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Really good. I mean, I was just in Mexico 2 weeks ago for Valentine's Day and had some good old stuff. I'm like, honestly, my granny, she makes the same good old tacos down the street.
I love like a really good street taco. Man, I'm getting myself hungry. This is a mistake. How dare me? All right. Moving on. You have a night in. Would you rather play card games or would you rather read a book?
Ooh.
I am struggling to what I want to do. Let's go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put cards. She put
Card games.
card games. What are your go-to card games?
Ooh, okay. Have you ever played Phase 10?
Oh, yeah.
So good. Yep. I love Phase 10.
Has that ruined any friendships for you, though?
It almost ended my relationship. The very first time we played it, I thought, this isn't going to work. We're so competitive. And
okay, so you're competitive,
kept calling me a cheater, and I never cheat. I'm so integrous, and I'm just good at, Phase 10. So, it almost ended that. But that's okay. We've learned how to communicate.
Okay, that's great. That's great. The, man, I love that game. If you've never played Phase 10 before, you have different, goals to get to, you need to get 4 of a kind or 9 twos or something. And I always feel like I'll get to, the 3rd or 4th round, and I'll be in the lead by a long shot. And then after that, I can never catch up again. And that's the worst. And that's when I start cheating, playing card games, and then everybody gets mad at me. You can be integrous all you want to. I am going to take the low road. I'm playing to have a good time. I'm not. Yeah, that's good times. Phase 10's a good choice. Always a classic Uno. You can't go wrong with that.
Right. That's right. But Uno, I feel like it's a little sketchy to play with a lot of people because everyone grew up playing Uno differently. You got dirty Uno. I was done in the first 5 seconds when I played with my boyfriend for the first time. I'm like, what? You don't stack all the colors at the same time? You know what I mean? Like when there's just one color and you're like, oh, I got all of these, and you just put them down. You know what I mean?
It's true. No, I don't know all the rules. We've got some, I've got some friends that I work with that their family is they're big Uno people. And something cute that they do is if they have a friend over and they're playing Uno together, they have a friend sign a card, or whoever wins gets to sign the winning card.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Fun. Yeah.
That is fun. I like that.
And again, it's the kind of thing where I'll cheat and do dumb stuff and then get kicked out. And it's all good though. You can't go wrong. Oh, but I've got 2 little boys, and they're at the age now where they can they're grasping it in there.
So fun.
And so it's a good time. Actually, we're gonna play Uno tonight. I've just decided. Thank you for recommending that. That's fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
Anytime.
All right. This is a weird one. Are you ready for it?
Love it. Let's go.
All right. Would you rather have no eyelashes or no eyebrows?
Ooh.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. I went eyelashes. You went
lashes.
Lashes. Yeah. If not, you're just gonna look surprised all the time, and that sounds horrible.
Yeah. Ugh. No. Plus, I can get the fakey ones, right? I can get fake lashes. You can't get fake eyebrows. You know what I mean? You can tattoo them back on, but it's just not the same.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know why I even asked that question. I don't have a real answer for it. No, I don't. I would rather have both. But if you don't have either or one set, that's okay.
That's okay.
But eyelashes, again, eyebrows, you can't make your facial expressions and all that
it's
stuff.
not the same.
You need it. You need it. All right. Would you rather go on a blind date or a double date? Blind date or double date? All right, I'm ready when you are. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2. I went double. You went
double date.
I think my wife would be way happier with that answer. Your boyfriend's probably way happier with that answer too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was single, I'm thinking would I go on a blind date? I don't know. I would for the adventure aspect of it. I'd be curious, but then I need an escape route somehow too at the same time. So
yeah. If it ever happens that you're going on a blind date, I'll give you my phone number and just tell me, call at 9 or 8:30 p.m. and be like, hey, my cat exploded. I need you to come over, and I got your back. So just in case,
you'll understand.
Yeah. Be like, I gotta go. My cat exploded. All right. Yeah, I'm here for you. All right. So last one. This one's an easier one. Way less cats exploding. Would you rather eat ice cream or cake? Are you an ice cream gal or a cake kind of gal?
I'm not a big sweets gal in general.
What?
I'm Italian. I like a good tiramisu, but there's coffee in that. But I do have an answer for you.
All right, here we go. Bring the heat. 3, 2, 1. I went cake. I
went cake.
Hey, look at us.
Yeah.
All right. So you said tiramisu. It does have coffee in it. Is that your go-to cake? If it's your birthday and you got a birthday cake, what's your dream cake?
birthday cake, I would go cheesecake, like strawberry
Ooh,
cheesecake, something a
okay.
little bit, it's,
You
mixture of like,
fancy.
it's kind of, yeah. I'm not, bread pudding is good,
Okay.
bread pudding,
Okay.
unique, culture, exotic, sticky bread pudding. What about you? I'm not big on the sweets.
I am big on the sweets.
Okay.
And this is the dumbest thing. Like, I had a birthday the other day, and I want my birthday to be like a 12-year-old's. I want pizza on my birthday, and then
Yes.
funfetti cake. I don't like, judge me if you want to. You
It's
can't go wrong with
great.
funfetti. It's
You
great.
can't. No, it's so good. You're right.
It
Yeah.
does the
I
trick.
agree. What, and just like normal frosting? Or do you like
Yeah.
a cream cheese frosting? Okay.
Nope. I'm not a cream
Okay.
cheese gal.
Okay.
You can judge me
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
again, so that's more cheesecake for you, and then I'll eat all the funfetti like a 12-year-old.
Okay.
And it's fantastic.
Perfect.
I'm gonna
It's
live it up.
great. Yeah.
Esther, this has been like ridiculously so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe today there's people that are bumping into you for the first time. They're hearing from you for the first time. If people
Sure.
want to get to follow you or read your books or get to know you better, where's a great place for them to connect with you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on Instagram. It's at Estes. That's ESTE and 4 S's.
Okay.
And fun little nickname I got going. And then if you want to buy a book, you can go to singleshouldn'tsuck.com.
There you go. Yeah, people go buy this, especially if you are in a single phase of life and you're feeling stuck. This might be a great resource for you. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Esther, you are amazing. Thank you so, so much for being here. And everyone listening, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week here on Maybe You're Like Me.
Thank you, Mike. I feel like we are a little alike.
We're basically the same person, just out there surfing with IBS. Wait, nope, never mind.
I love it.